embracing it fully. But can I ask about his manager? Does he look more reinvigorated as the Leicester manager? Because there was a lot of talk that he could be gone at any point, but now he seems to have found his mojo back.
Yeah, I think the disappointment towards the end of last season, you could see in himself, he wasn't happy with the way things were going. I think obviously the start of the season hasn't been great. He's had injuries, he's had, but loads of other clubs are the same. He didn't look like he was enjoying it. He lost that little bit from himself that everyone has come to know from him, but you can see it back. The players respond so well to him. They all have that enthusiasm to want to play for him, which is a huge positive. Getting a few players back from injury helps, but when you've got players in the team that are scoring goals, like Maddison's done this season, Jamie Vardy come back in the team. This was, again, we said about it, it's a good tactical game plan from him. You were able to run in behind, do that, but tactically he got it, again, not spot on because they lost the game, but he was able to then make the substitutions to go two up top and change the shape and react to what was going on the pitch. So he does look like he's got that enthusiasm back and that desire to go on and take this Leicester City team up the league.
Yeah. Big difference is the fact that they were getting beaten, they were struggling, and they've just gone prior to today's game, 3 games unbeaten, 3 clean sheets, 2 wins and a draw, 7 points from 9. Well, actually, suddenly you start to feel a little bit more buoyant, don't you? Yeah. I don't think Brendan Rodgers is approaching training or the club any differently to how he always does, but deep down, results make the difference. You bounce in on a Monday morning if you've won at the weekend, and you come in a little bit flat if you got beaten.
It's the same with players. When you score and your confidence goes, managers, results-based business, isn't it? So it's nothing better than getting a win and feeling, like you say, that Monday morning you come in with a spring in your step.
Yeah. It is, but I'm looking at some of his comments over the past 1 year. Now, in, January, February, they lost against Forest in a cup game. He came out and he was quite scathing about the side, about the team, that it needed an overhaul. He admitted that the signings they made last year were more squad players rather than first teamers. And then this summer, the transfer window was just closed, they made one major signing, and they've continued to lose players, and they have other players who will be out of contract in the not too distant future, like Yuri Tillemans, for example. I'm just wondering, how much further do you think Rodgers can take this team if it doesn't look like any investment is going to be made by the owners? Or am I being a bit harsh?
Look, you're spot on with the facts. That they are the facts, and unfortunately for Brendan, he can't change any of that. He's able to be on the training pitch with these players. He's got a very good record of making players better. The way that he improves players, young players or even experienced players, he can mould them into different things, different positioning. So he's got that on his side that he can do that. But the other side of things are signings, and it's sort of out of his control. And he can be frustrated, like he is. I'm sure he is, that he would want to have made more signings. And you were saying about squad, he wants to get starters, players that are going to come in and move that football club on. But unfortunately, the situation that he finds himself in, he's not been able to do it.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult at Leicester City at the moment because of the owners and their business. We touched on it before, King Power, duty-free in Thailand. There's been no tourism in Thailand because of the pandemic. So everything gets a little bit tight. They had to sell Fofana, didn't they, for what, 70+ million, whatever it was. Because of circumstances, Leicester have become less competitive in the transfer market, and you have to do your best to deal with it. Every manager wants more money to spend. Every manager wants to keep his best players, but sometimes it's out of his control, and it's out of Brendan Rodgers' control at the moment.